Hey guys, so today I'm doing a different video on a TV show. I okay, so first of all, I'm doing a video on The Great, and want to continue to do TV show videos, but I don't know if I want to do like videos or do audio recordings and kind of release it that way so we can like listen to it. Because my first the first time I covered a TV show, I did do it as like a podcast format on my Patreon, but I'm thinking of doing The Witcher, but at the same time, I'm just like, I would have to go back and rewatch the whole season, which probably needs to happen anyway. But yeah, I'll either do another one on that or Joy's K drama. I might actually just go ahead and have a good time doing I don't know, like review listening experience. Cause I know there's no way I'm gonna be able to like live stream myself. I would assume it would get copyright claimed somehow. So yeah, and I also don't know how to watch it yet. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I do have a VPN, so I think I want more episodes to come out, but we'll see. I'll probably end up caving and just watching it. So, back to the main thing is The Great, that is on a Hulu original series. This is going to be mostly focusing on season 2 because it is the most recent season that came out. I literally just finished watching season 2, so I wanted to talk about like just what I thought about it. Like this would be I guess a reaction because finished it so recently. So like I don't think this can be a proper review because I haven't had time to sit and think about the show yet. So this is like an initial reaction to the season 2 of The Great. Um, I don't know if there's going to be a season 3. This is an interesting show, and I'll get into it more later. Like the pacing, the tone, the way the episodes are released, and just the way that I even thought that season 1 it was just going to be a standalone season, and I think originally it was supposed to be. I don't know. I might do a lot of like searching while I'm doing this, but I do love this picture of Elle Fanning and Nicholas Hoult. I'll get into them as well. So yeah, The Great. This is going to be my review of season 2 or reaction to season 2 and some thoughts about season 1 since I don't have any video about that. Um, so The Great is basically how I like to describe it as like a satirical history drama. Yeah, I think that's how I'm going to describe it. Because within satirical, it's like comedy, right? So it's satirical history drama, similar to The Favorite, which I know kind of has like a cult following, I would say. So yeah, it's probably one of the first TV shows that I have personally seen to take on this type of this take on history dramas as well as Dickinson, that many of you may know, and I will talk about that show separately. I have a lot of not like issues. I don't know, like for some reason I like The Great more than I like Dickinson, and yeah, I don't. I think I'll be able to talk about it later once I can dissect this, but yes, it's a satirical history drama starring Elle Fanning, who is, I believe, 23 years old, younger sister of Dakota Fanning. She's been in things like Maleficent, and she's kind of been in some indie movies here and there. She's a really great actress. I mean, you wouldn't expect anything less from Elle Fanning's younger sister. And then she is alongside Nicholas Hoult, which is really interesting. And like when I saw season 1, I honestly was just watching for Elle Fanning, and I don't know, like when I saw Nicholas Hoult, so I'm 25, and when I saw Nicholas Hoult, I was just like thinking of Skins, and I was like, oh my god, okay, so like I guess I can kind of be on board for him too. But the first thing I like that came to mind was like, where has Nicholas Hoult been? Like, I don't know, maybe I just don't keep up with him, so I don't know, maybe he's been doing things, but where on earth has he been? He looks great. Like I had to search him for a while because I was like, hold up, isn't he like around Jennifer Lawrence's age? Because I know they dated when she used to when they were on X-Men First Class together, which is like a throwback. And so what is he? I think he's like 33 or I don't even know if he's 33 yet, but he looks great, and he does a great job in the show as well. He's kind of sold me on the show, as well as Elle Fanning, of course. She's just magnificent. Like, she's amazing. But so we have her on the show and him on the show as the leading cast, basically, and then we have we have an encore cast of Elizabeth, who will be Peter's aunt. Then we have Mariel, who is Catherine's handmaiden, and we have Orlo, who is her, like, kind of like her hand, slash, like, I don't know, he's like her hand, the hand of the queen, or whatever you want to call it. And then the other guy, who's the head of the military, and then, like, Georgina, she kind of left this season, but I feel like she kind of is a part of the encore cast, along with her husband. They include a good amount of characters in this show, and I feel like in the second season you also get, like, a deeper look into a lot of these characters that we had in the first season. So it's really interesting. Obviously, the most screen time goes to them two, and the aunt, Orlo, and Mariel. Mariel has a lot of screen time in season 2, which I find to be really interesting. So before I get more into the show, I do want to say that another show that this reminds me of is Harlots, which is also a Hulu original that was canceled. And maybe one day I will have healed enough to make a video about Harlots, but the cancellation of that show really was, like, my 13th reason. I was so upset when that show ended. I was so upset when the older sister died. Like, anyways, back to the great. So I guess I want to talk about first what I love about the show, and then I don't want to say, like, I have problems with it, because overall I just absolutely love the show, but, like, I do have a couple of critiques about the show. And I think, like, overall it's just what I can wrap all my critiques in is, like, where is this show going? What are they doing with the show? Do they know what they want to do with the show? Yeah, that's kind of how I just felt after the second season. Also, another thing I felt about the second season, I know I'm kind of getting into the critiques a little bit, but I'll get into, like, the small details later. Another thing I have to say is this season 2 very much so felt like season 1, in the sense that, like, it's just, like, Catherine and Paul, like, having these, like, they're kind of, like, playing chess mentally, whatever, while still trying to work out their feelings for each other. And it's so weird, because this season you almost completely forget that, like, Peter did all of these terrible things to Catherine in season 1. Like, remember, like, I almost forgot that he literally drowned her until she brought it up again in this season, and I was just like, whoa, she really has no reason to keep you alive. So I get that that's, like, a plot point for the show, but it very much felt like the same thing in season 2. Like, it was just like, oh, she wants to kill him, but, like, she also wants to sleep with him. And I was like, okay, alright. And yeah, we'll get into that later. Season 2 felt like season 1, basically, with better, I don't even know if I want to say better costumes, because the costumes were all, you know what, yeah, let's just say it, better costumes, better effects, and yeah, just like the budget was bigger, and the performances were great, and they just were, like, totally being out there with their performances. And then we had Gillian Anderson, so that was just a nice treat as well. So what I like about the show, like I said, like, there's nothing like it on TV. Even comparing it to the likes of Dickinson and, like, Harlots, it still kind of wins for me. Only mostly, I don't know why my Alexa's talking. Alexa, stop. But Harlots is canceled now, so I can't really say much about that. I love that. I love the costumes. And I love all of the actors, honestly. Even the military guy, like everyone's does a pretty great performance, even down to like Georgina and characters that I hate. I mean, if I hate you as a character, you're just doing your job as an actor. So, yeah, all great. The set is great. Yeah, so my favorite characters on the show, I guess, since I'm talking about what I like, obviously Catherine. I mean, yeah, let's get into the characters. So I'm gonna start with Catherine. So I really do like Catherine a lot, but I do feel like sometimes she's like a lot of talk and doesn't really take a lot of action. And I found it really interesting in this season when she opened the school for the little girls that they literally called her out on it, and I was like, oh wow, okay, so are we gonna see her change as a character? Not really, because in the end, although she did like kind of, you know, she advanced a bit this season as far as like taking over Russia, and I feel like in the beginning of the season she didn't really know what to do or how to start, and like people were really against her. But a great moment in the last episode was like you kind of found out that everybody was there for her, even down to the priest. Like he said that he was gonna stand with her, which was great. And that's why I'm just like, oh, the second season was kind of great. That's why I'm saying this is just a reaction, not a review, because I haven't dissected it yet. Even now, I'm like still dissecting certain scenes, but that was such a great scene when he's like, I'm with you. And this season, we even got more to see about his character and the things that he's going through. And ultimately, he does believe in Catherine, which is really great to see. Um, so, I mean, like, we'll see if they do a season 3 what happens just with everything and everyone fully being on her side now. So, yeah, sometimes she's like all bark, no bite, especially when it comes down to actually handling Peter, which is unfortunate because I feel like given the chance, maybe not now, but he would have killed her, especially in the first season, maybe even in the beginning of the second season. So I just find that to be like a shortcoming, but I get it. Like she kind of did come in like really naive and stuff, but I kind of just want her to be a little bit ruthless. Like I need her to be a little bit more ruthless this season, next season hopefully. But also I think her kindness is super cool sometimes, except when she misjudges people. For instance, Peter, he slept with your mother before he did all those things in season 1. He now slept with your mother, didn't tell you, continued to sleep with you, and was the reason that she fell out of a window. I mean, I know your mother was really annoying. See, that's the only way they can get out of this is if Catherine is just like, you know what, she was obnoxious anyways. But I couldn't see that happening because she was literally crying when she found out her mother died. Because Catherine loved her mother. No matter how mean her mother was to her, Catherine would always still love her. And I kind of loved that when Gillian Anderson came into the show this season. It was great. Like, I was obsessed. I was like binging it. I couldn't wait to watch episodes. This took me maybe 2 weeks. I had like finals and stuff, so it took me a while to watch it. But like when she was on the show, I literally ate up all her episodes in one sitting. So seeing their dynamics, seeing her with Elle Fanning, oh my gosh! I mean, Elle Fanning was acting. She was acting. She's an actress, and yeah, Gillian was so fun to see. She's kind of mischievous, like she is on Sex Education, and yeah, she's just trying to seduce Peter the entire time, and I really wish that he just kind of had not fallen for that because I don't know what he thought would come out of that. And then it makes me think that, oh yeah, well, I get he's actively trying to be better, but if at the end of the day, when it comes down to really making better choices, he's not doing it. Because he could have just went to Catherine and been like, hey, your mother is crazy and she keeps trying to sleep with me. And then I just, even the aunt too. I'm gonna talk about her because she's shady to me. I personally don't understand why Catherine has not K-worded her. She is so shady, she's weird, and she's a pervert. I mean, I get it, she's kind of like quirky and cool, but she's kind of weird. Like, we can bring in another quirky, cool character. We really don't absolutely need her. I would love to see her die. Sorry, because at the end of the day, she's there for Peter, and I'm just like, I mean, yeah, she kind of helped Catherine a little bit with the coup, but like, did she really? So that's why I'm like, Catherine, how do you still think this woman is on your side? First of all, she's literally his aunt. So the mom was really shady, but one thing she was right about was that people that were close to her may not really be like for her best interest. And I really believe that's true because even Orlo goes behind her back to take money. So these people that are so-called loyal to you are sitting here trying to do these things behind your back. I mean, the military guy, he started listening to her at some point, but like, he didn't care what she had to say initially. So yeah, it's just really, the mom was right. She was right about that. That was about it. And then Mariel, I just don't understand what they're doing with her character. We'll get to that later, though. Okay? So, yeah, that's Catherine. And then, of course, she's in love with Peter. And I'm just like, can we get her a mistress again? Remember he killed your other mistress that you loved? I don't want this for her. I'm sorry. Like, I was shipping them for like 2 seconds because I thought he was gonna do better. But then he didn't. So, I don't really know what to say. You know, you can't be like, I don't know. I just can't do it. Love Nicholas Hoult as the character, but Peter makes me so mad. It's just insane, but I get it. That's the point of the character. And I'm gonna talk about something that like it'd be really interesting to see something like as far as his character, because at some point they're gonna have to she's gonna have to take some kind of act. Like, they can't just keep going on season and season and she's like threatening to kill him and not killing him, and then if they just make them together next season, like, where's the fun in that, you know? I think he should get sent away, like exiled or something, and they should do that, and then like bring in another love interest for her, like somebody, like a nice love interest, and then like, I don't know, we'll have to see. I didn't really think about the rest of it. So either he gets exiled or he just like runs away for some reason because he doesn't want to get killed, and then he like comes back and sees her with this other guy, and then yeah, and then that's how like the season ends, and then season 4 is like, oh, Peter's back, and yeah, we just resume the old shenanigans. So that'd be really interesting to see like his character and Georgina and like all them kind of like flee. That's why I was like, y'all should let them flee and brought in some new characters. Like, mix it up, bring in like Florence Pugh or something. It'd be cool to see Catherine in like a relationship with a woman, but I don't really get that vibe from her, so who knows. Bring in a new love interest for Mariel, because I don't know why you guys tried to put her with that man. Orlo's little thing is cute. Bring in a guy for the priest, and yeah, it would have been cool to see like a season where Peter's kind of MIA, nobody knows where he is, and she's just kind of figuring out her stuff without him. Because I feel like, you know, with it trying to have this kind of feminist feeling to it. Obvious. I feel like it's obvious, not like feminist, but empowering female story or whatever you want to call it. Because I know the F word is like so scary these days, slash kind of outdated to use to describe something that just has a female in it. So, um, yeah, it'd be really cool to see her kind of do her own thing for one season without Peter, because now we're getting a bit like, I feel like we're getting a bit too much involved in like her love for him and the love story element of it. Maybe I do kind of get it though, because their chemistry is just insane. That's why I'm like, gosh. I'm like, oh my god, kick Peter out, and then like they'll have a scene where they're like making out, and I'm like, I'm like shipping them again. It's so sick. Like it's not right. It's not okay. So yeah. So I did want to say I want to talk about their chemistry. So that's how I feel about Catherine. I think she's great. I think it is funny that they poke fun at like the fact that she's kind of like a Western kind of feminist character, even though she's like wherever she's from, not really Western feminism. But and she kind of like does it to a fault, and she kind of just like, I think she's more practical now with the way she wants to change the world, because initially she's like, I want to do all this and this and this, and then some of the things she said just were not realistic, and or it wasn't really given what she thought it was gonna give. And then she started to realize what would make a change, and she started to do it that way, while still balancing that with still like kind of her optimism for a new future, but she had to balance it with reality, because yeah. So yeah, that was great. She has gotten a lot wiser this season, which I really liked, and I think that's why at the end of the season a lot of people started to back her, and yeah, that's great. I'd love to see her. Another thing, I'd love to see her sisters come and like stir some stuff up. I'm like, if her mom's like that, how could her sisters be? And she kind of mentioned her sisters in the last episode. She's like, oh, I'd want to kill my sisters, except then I'd be sad. I feel like that's just such a great way to wrap up her character, like, entirely. She's not really a terrible person, and that's not a bad thing, and I love that kind of duality of her. Because, a lot of times we get, like, these ruthless female characters that would just, like, yeah, and they're great to see, of course, but Catherine has a heart, and that is great, even though I do want to see her be ruthless from time to time. I do love and appreciate that she is a nice, sweet little girl. She's still that sweet little girl that was, like, swinging on the swing and so happy to get married. Not really, like, that version of her, but she's still sweet, not as naive, but... So, yeah, I love the moment. My favorite Catherine moments this season. I love when she's she's arguing with Peter, and he, like, leaves the room, and she pretends to, have an orgasm when he's out of the room. I mean, Elle Fanning was just so wonderful this season. That was funny. And then when she's, like, she just has a lot of great scenes in this season, when she's eating the heart in front of him, and they're kind of having these, like, daydreams of each other, or whatever you want to call them. And then what else was a great moment? God, when she stabs this the one guy, after he stabbed her in the hand, that was a really great moment. And there's a lot of great moments for Catherine this season, so it's great, it's good, and I would really love to see more of this show. As far as Peter, you already know how I feel about him. Terrible man. Nicholas Hoult is great at portraying him, so he could stay, I guess. Mariel, her handmaiden, she is a character where, like, I don't really know if she has Catherine's um, you know, I think she does want to do what's best for Catherine, but she's still kind of like, okay, but this is reality. Like, you know what I mean? But she's like, too much, this is reality. And then Catherine's so much like, la 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 la, like, who cares about reality? We're gonna change things. And she's like, all right, Catherine girl. Like, she's that friend that's like, oh yeah, like, let's do it. But then, like, I would have to go back to the first season and really analyze and see if her choice that she made in telling Peter that Catherine was gonna overthrow him was, you know, for her own intentions, like, or to protect Catherine, or both. And she saw that she could get both out of it. Like, what really were her intentions then? And, like, can we really hate on her if those were her intentions? She was trying to save herself? Like, we'll see. If she really thought that Catherine was gonna die, which I think she did think that was gonna happen, because if she didn't, she wouldn't have gone to Peter. So then that's kind of like there's some examination to be done there, and um, and I think Catherine kind of is like mad at her a little bit for that in the beginning, but then they get closer again, and I just don't really care what they did for her character, and I think her character is so great, and I would have loved to seen her like be in a really cool relationship, but they decided to put her with, is his name like Gregor or something? I don't know. They, yeah, because his wife's name is Georgia or Gina or whatever. So they decided to put her with him, and I just like, not only do am I just like meh. Um, they also give her this weird plot where like her nephew or whomever comes and is trying to get married to her, and I'm just like, free my girl. Like, what is going on? But I did love the plot with her and like the older woman, and she was kind of helping her and stuff. But like next season, let's get her a good love interest. We don't need this for her. And let's get her like, I don't know, to be I want her and Catherine to have like more, I guess they did have a lot of moments, but I want her to be like, you know, Catherine's confidant. Like, she tells her everything. I would like to see them get closer, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And because I feel like Catherine's super close with the Elizabeth lady, but like I need her to be close with Mariel, because Mariel could really help her scheme, and just like as far as those little things, you know. So yeah, that's what I feel like. I want better for Mariel next season. I want her and Catherine to become closer, because these other people. Anyways, so I don't really, like I said, as far as the Aunt Elizabeth, I really would like to see her head chopped off, but I mean, the actress does such a great job playing her as well, so she is very entertaining. But yeah, Orlo had a really interesting season because he got a love interest, but then he also betrayed Catherine, and I was just like, eh. But I feel like her reaction to it was kind of, um, like she overreacted, especially considering that like there were people that have done worse to her, and but I feel like she overreacted because she felt like maybe like he was one of the most people that she could trust the most. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like that also showed her like obliviousness to what's actually going on with like the working class and lower, because she didn't understand why he did it. So yeah, there we go with that. I guess she didn't really care in the end, and he was like, oh, I follow you, but then like they're trying to like make smart remarks, and I'm all like, oh, whatever, you guys messed up too, so let's just get over it. uh yeah, so I feel like this season was very much so the same tango as season one, but with better character development. We get to see the characters more and who they are. And Nicholas Holt just seems like he's chilling the entire season, like eating things and stuff. It's really great. So, next season, I told you what I'd want to see. I'd love to see him have to leave the castle for some sort of reason in some sort of way, but we still get to see an arc happen with him elsewhere. And then Catherine kind of gets to explore her own identity a bit more in his absence, even if it is for just like half of a season. It would be really great to see that happening. And then her sisters come to visit, and then Peter just doing his own thing somewhere else, and maybe actually learning to become a better person, hopefully, or whatever that means to him as far as like redemption. I don't really know. It seems like Catherine, from the end of the season, which she literally tried to stab him, and then she cried about it, and then he wasn't dead, and then she was happy. I feel like, yeah, just like after that, it's like, is she even going to kill him? But they're so all over the place. Like, the next scene could be her trying to kill him. So, I don't know. And then, like, why? I need to know why Mariel got arrested and not Elizabeth or Georgina. Mm-hmm. It's true. It's really true. Yeah, we need to get into some more things next season. I need there to be another season, and we can't do the same thing as season 2 where we're just playing Tom and Jerry with Catherine and Peter. Let's get down to the nitty gritty of things, and let's do something interesting next season. I mean, for a show, I feel like that literally is kind of ridiculous. The sky is the limit with this show. I mean, there was things this season that I was like, what is going on? Like, they had an alligator, they had a whale on here. There was just like a lot of ridiculous things going on. That's why I love this show. But let's tune it up like a little bit next season. Like, I feel like the ridiculousness was great, but like the plot, as far as it being similar overall, because like there was a lot of small things that were happening that were different and great to, like I said, develop the characters and let you get to know them better and sympathize with them more and all of that stuff. But overall, the plot was the same as far as Catherine trying to kill Peter, even though she should have done it like a while ago. So, what do I don't even think I can give this. Should I give it a rating? And also, is it better than season 1? I think in some ways, I don't think one is significantly better than the other. I think in some ways this was better than season 1. And I also feel like the actors were more comfortable in this season, like to explore themselves in this role. I wonder like how much improv they do for this. So yeah, I feel like the cast was just so comfortable in this season that season 2 could be a better season, you know. But I really don't know yet. So, anyways, what are your thoughts? Who's your favorite character this season? I know that from what I know, there's no announced season 3. Do you want there to be a season 3? And if you do, what do you want to see? And yeah, that's basically it. Thanks for watching, guys.